Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm here with Janice, and I told Janice that if she wanted to come in and show off her hands, okay? And if you take a look, you can see her hands here. We're going to talk about her hands because whether you're talking about your hands, your feet, your hips, your knees, your ankles, any joint in the body can be in trouble. And believe it or not, okay, every joint in the body will actually take on a different emotion. And think about this. We can put somebody on the moon, Janice, okay? We can have all these scientific breakthroughs, but we can't figure out how to look after Janice's hands until they get this bad, right? So why do you think this is? How did this happen?
Well, on my understanding, it's probably my lifestyle, maybe the wrong foods I was eating. It's been brought to me, it's probably the stress that I am under. And
You're under stress right now?
No, not now.
Okay.
No, but
okay, so
I let things bother me sometimes.
Yeah, people do. But the thing is that you went to the hospital many times probably, or to a doctor for this, haven't you?
No.
Never?
No, I'm my own doctor.
Okay, all right. So you never went to a doctor for this. So how's that work being your own doctor?
I had some pain in here about 3 years ago when I was raking.
Yeah.
And I did kidney flush because I go to like holistic people. So I'm more holistic.
Okay.
So.
But what I want to know is how did your hands get like this?
They just started. I think maybe the first indication was one of these knuckles. Maybe about 2004-ish. My mother-in-law noticed my knuckle, and I just
2004. So now it's 2020.
Yeah.
So that was 16 years ago.
Yeah, I think they've gotten worse over the last 7 years.
Okay. Now, so let's talk about it. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at no matter what the problem is in the body. We know that it's scar tissue, build up scar tissue, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's crystallization and displaced calcium. We know that you need to have inflammation because the inflammation, when you've got inflammation, no matter where in the body, we'll talk about your hands though because of your joints, right? So when you get inflammation in a joint or anywhere in your body, that's called a weak link. Mm. Okay, so wherever the weak link is, when you get emotionally stressed or when you do dairy, you do sugar, you do gluten, okay, you do alcohol, or you do prescription drugs, or you do anything that's toxic, right? Your blood flows everywhere. So where would the toxins pile up? Where would the irritation pile up?
I'm very active with my hands. I do.
That's not the point. The point is where the weak link is. So wherever the weak tissue is, that's where things are going to pile up. And then as they do pile up and you create physical blocks, do you think that stops the flow, and that if there was anything in your blood or the lymph, do you think it would get backed up and then it would back up and get collected where the block is?
Yeah, I don't totally understand it. I want to learn about it.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. So we've got a river flowing. And then there's another one beside it. Same size, same flow. But this one here, the beavers have been allowed to build dams. Mm-hmm. Which river's going to flow the best?
Well, obviously the other one.
So look at all the little beaver dams in here. Right? So what happens is it's happening in your joints, which means it's scar tissue. We know it's displaced calcium. So right in the joints that are swollen, okay, we know that there's scar tissue, crystallization, and calcium. Now, you said that this one here, the big one, see this big one here for everyone? You said this one here hurts quite a bit, right?
Right in about here. I get a stab right in about there.
Okay, but you also, if you can see everyone, I can move it around. So this here has got calcium in it, but it hasn't totally calcified. Now show them the one that you said has no pain.
This one here doesn't have any pain.
Now watch this. I can't move anything. Look at this. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Nothing moves in this. This is rocky. Okay, this one is usually we would say this is the older one. This is the new one.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Right. Oh my gosh, we got it right. So we didn't talk about this before, did we?
No, we know we haven't.
Okay, so understand something. When it rains, you get wet. Otherwise, I know what I'm talking about. I've been working on people with problems since I was 26 years old, since I put Wolfe Non-Surgical together.
Mm-hmm.
And I've offered a money-back guarantee. And I've only given money back twice. 27, I'm now almost 64. So understand something. Everything is a scar tissue calcification crystallization issue. So this here is calcified. So remember, this one is on her right hand. So when we show you after we work on it, and this one here is on her left hand. So we'll show you that as we work on it. We're going to work on our joints as well. We're not going to keep you here while we work on the hand, and then we're going to show you the difference. And this will only be the first time we work on her hand. This will be your first treatment, right?
Yep.
Okay. After we work on her hand, then I'm going to tell her the things that I would do if I had her hand when she goes home. Okay? And if these were my hands, what I would do. Now, if you take a look at a close-up here, you'll see all these brown spots, okay? Well, these brown spots are called age spots. They're called sunspots. But actually, this is just showing that her liver is full of fungus and mold, and it's all backed up with sludge. Have you ever done a coffee enema?
Yes.
How many? How often? Long time?
Not often, but I usually do a liver flush. And
Are you talking about an olive oil cleanse? What's a liver flush?
Liver and gallbladder miracle cleanse. It's usually I pick the book up at Nature's Fair, and it consists of not eating any meat or dairy and stuff for about a week, and then you drink on the last day you'll drink olive oil and
right, that's
grapefruit
called
juice.
a gallbladder flush.
Yeah.
That's not a liver cleanse,
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Let's make that really clear. And the other thing is it says in this book to stop drinking dairy and stop doing meat for a week. Well, that's just like the doctor says when you have a cold, you shouldn't drink milk. Well, what's good for you is good for you. So shouldn't you just stop what's not good for you? So the reality is this is what dairy has caused to her. Meat, not so much, but dairy has caused this. And sugar and other things. But dairy's the big one. I mean, dairy, you know what? I'm going to say this right now. I wrote an article called Scary Dairy. And that article was released when I was around 32 years old. And the Dairy Board of Ontario tried to sue me for $250,000. But the reality is everything I said about it was true. Okay? So the deal is that dairy is an out-and-out poison. It causes more inflammation in the body than any other food. It will totally give you colitis. It'll totally give you sinusitis. It'll totally give you arthritis. Do you get this? So it's all the itis means inflammation. Dairy, cheese, yogurt. Yogurt, give me a break. I don't know anybody even believes those commercials. They're an out-and-out lie. Okay, you understand the Dairy Board pays off everybody because we've known that nobody should be doing dairy. Do you do it anymore?
No, I've been actually off of meat, dairy, and sugar for a month now.
A month?
Yes.
Whoa. Do you see? So, yeah. So the reality is that we've all been programmed to end up like this. Because if we end up like this, we're going to continually go to specialists and we're going to take medication because our painful little hands, and then eventually we might even need surgery, right? Yeah. And we know that if your hands are going like this, we know that you've got problems in other joints of your body. It's never just the hands. So understand, healing is systemic, disease is systemic. It's throughout the whole body. So by doing the perfect day, by doing vegetable juice juicing, and even doing a vegetable juice fast. Can't really call it that. You can call it a cleanse. But then doing advanced water fasting is the key. But the first thing we want to do is go in and get rid of these physical blocks. Do you know how long it would take for her to eat right, to live right, and how many gallbladder cleanses and how many liver cleanses and how many water fasts she'd have to do to dissolve this?
Well, I was pretty consistent with the liver and the gallbladder for about 3 years.
That's good. And guess what? It can't do anything to it. Once you've got this, it stays. Because you have to physically go in and pull the scar tissue apart, and you've got to decalcify in here. And also, you should be on the SAC calcium. So we can loosen up the calcium. It may find a new place to settle. If a person had if they were fasting and on a really great diet, and if you weren't stressed out, and you know, it's very rare. It's like a unicorn to find someone that totally loves, honors, and respects themselves. So understand that. Most people are so caught up in their kids' issues, their mother's issues, their father's, the world, their husband, their daughter, whatever, just everything. You know, finding peace and calm and bringing up your vibration is what heals everything. So what we're going to do
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah, no, anytime.
I just want to say that for quite a few years now, I've been just organic, and I don't take medications. I don't take pain medications. I fell and fractured my spine and took no pain medications. And I walked out of the hospital that evening after I fractured my lower L1, 2, and 3. But I used to be 100% raw in about 2000. So since about 2000, I've been like totally eating organic, but not on organic meats, but grass-fed. So I've been trying on my own.
Well, yeah, but you know what? You got to get rid of the meat. You can't have arthritis and eat meat.
Yeah.
You can't have arthritis and eat animal products.
Yeah. So I'm off that now.
What?
So I'm off that now.
Yeah. So that's all good. And you've done everything right. You're amazing. But the reality is, even with the diet, you're going to stop. You're going to slow it down and maybe even stop the deterioration. But we actually have to physically go in and pull this stuff apart.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like this. So we're not gonna let any more debris go down the river, right?
Yeah.
But we've got a big beaver dam. How long will it take for the river to pull that beaver dam apart? It may never do it because it's so locked in, right? Okay. So what we're gonna do is lovingly start pulling this stuff apart, and once we do that, the lymph flow, the blood flow, the energy flow is going to start to flow. So then what happens then is you get the crystallization melting. The actual scar tissue converts back into connective tissue and lovely tissue. And then the calcium will actually, it doesn't go in big chunks, so it's not like it gives you a heart attack or anything. That's not what we're talking about. People go, oh my gosh, if you pull a fibroid apart, what happens to all the pieces? Well, you don't. You pull the fibroid apart, and actually the increase in blood, the increase in lymph, and the increase in the actual frequency of the tissue changes it back to its original state. And that's what we do. So it's not like there's pieces floating around, right? And the calcium will get reabsorbed, and especially if somebody's on the SAC calcium, which if I could afford it, and I was in your shoes, if I could afford it, I'd be on SAC calcium. Definitely I would be on Cardigan, and then I'd be getting this work done, and I'd get this work done weekly. And you'd be looking, honestly, probably about 10 treatments every week to get your hands back. And then I would have you on our curcumin cayenne 5000. And people, they don't get it. Okay, I have people that have hands worse than this, and they will come in for a treatment, or they'll come and learn, and they'll take our personal treatment and training, and the husband will learn how to do it, or the wife, or they both will, I should say, and they'll work on each other. So they'll do this once a week and go in and work on one hand today, and then in a few days work on the other hand if both hands were in trouble, right? And then what's happening is they're on a perfect day diet, but then they also really they get into the advanced water fasting that's in our advanced water fasting guide. They do the ultimate coffee enema, because understand something, the coffee enema outshoots the gallbladder flush any day, because it's your liver that causes the gallbladder problems.
Oh, I know. I've been concerned about my liver.
So that's why you got to do the coffee enemas.
I have part of the package. I just have to get the other package.
No, it's not about right or wrong. You know, we can't do better till we know better, and everybody's on this road of learning. And you know what? Health is like anything else. You just don't learn a new language overnight, especially when they've corrupted the language out there. I mean, you know, the health manual that everybody's got is one to basically destroy yourself. That's all. And it is.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So that's that. Well, it doesn't matter. People can agree or not agree. They just have to take a look at their wife or their children, and then they're going to have to agree. Because 92% of the population right now has an autoimmune disease. Right. 1 out of 2 are going to have cancer. Right. 1 out of 2 people are going to have heart disease. And right now 80% of the population is pre-diabetic. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay, so we know the manual does not work. All right. So then what we want to do is get you on things like structured water, and we want to make sure that you're also on curcumin cayenne 5000. There's nothing better, nothing more, less expensive. And I have people that are in this situation. I have them taking like 3-5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well,
So they go in there and they reduce the inflammation. Boom, right down. No more inflammatory response. If you haven't got inflammation, you're not making scar tissue.
oh,
If you
okay.
haven't got any inflammation, you're not pulling calcium.
Well, I'm going to buy a jar before I leave.
Well, you don't have to. But the thing is, if you don't have any inflammation, right,
Yeah.
then you don't have crystallization.
Hmm.
And the crystallization is to glue the fibrin that the body makes to wall this off so it doesn't spread. And so the parasites and bacteria and viruses that want to attack the weakened tissue don't get in here. So walls are created to stop the inflammation from spreading and to stop the parasites from coming in and creating something like we might call it a tumor, right?
Yeah.
Or a fibroid, or degenerate the tissue, because that's what happens. You get tissue disintegration,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So and for anybody out there, if you go to if you send an email in and go to quickstart@docofdetox.com, we'll send you out a 6-step process so that you can understand this. And if you go to our A to Z masterclass, we're going to show you on every part of the body why this happens and what we do to reverse it. Do you have any questions?
No, but I am doing some flushes right now
Yeah.
for parasites and
Yeah.
addressing
So feel my
that.
hands. Feel my top.
Yeah.
Now feel yours. See,
Cold.
So
Always have
understand-
cold hands.
Yeah, you're always going to have cold hands because you have reduced the flow of blood by 50 to 60%. So how have you done that? Well, look at all the beaver dams.
Yeah, it's a mess.
So when the little bit of flow comes down here, it's continually piling up here, and these are only going to get thicker. So even if you've gone organic, you're doing things, you're adding more things, you're changing things. Understand, like I said, you're going to stop the hands from getting worse, but they're not going to get better unless we go in with Wolfe Non-Surgical, and that's the key. You could do acupuncture, you could see a chiropractor, but you got to pull this stuff apart, and that's what we're going to do right now, right?
Yep.
We're going to take. So what we'll do is we'll focus on your left hand, right? That's what you said you wanted, and then what we can do is we'll show, okay, the difference between this, okay, and this one, and we can work on these two areas. But what we'll do is we'll show working on our left hand, and we'll work on this area here, and then we'll come back and you'll see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get started here, and Jason's going to be doing the work. And what we're going to be doing is we're mainly going to be doing the left hand, and we will do the other joint that's really big here just to show you, because what we were talking about earlier, how that's mainly cartilage and this one is calcified. But understand something. So it doesn't matter where you're talking about on any part of the body. You're going to go from crystallization, scar tissue formation, and then calcification. The worse things get, the more the body pulls in to try to wall off, protect. Well, guess what? So what we get right away when we talk about joints, and this is happening, because see, that whole crystallization, calcification, scar tissue formation mainly happens in the abdomen and the pelvis, and people don't know that. But you will if you watch my other videos. Okay? So, but when we're talking about joints, first we call it inflammation in the joint. Then we call it arthritis, which arth means joint, itis means inflammation. Then what do we call it? Well, then we call it osteoarthritis, because now we're starting to pull the calcium out, okay? And then we call it rheumatoid osteoarthritis, which means now it's got all kinds of viruses in it, and it's just a real mess, and now it's calcified, tons of scar tissue, and it gets all knotty and gnarly, okay? Like this. Look at how knotty and gnarly that is. And understand something. Why do we call it a knot? Well, is it because if you take a shoelace and you tie it in a knot, it gets shorter. And if you understand something, the more that something, the bigger the knot, the less flexion, the less extension you have. And when something knots up like a tendon or a ligament or a muscle, it gets shorter. So that's why things contract. And you know, we've worked on hands called hammer hands, and they come in like this, and believe it or not, we'll be able to reverse on a hammer hand anywhere from 50 to 80% the first treatment, right? And within 3 treatments, we'll have their hand flat again. That's right. So we'll take a look and see what we can do here. So we're going to work about 20 minutes to a half an hour on her hand. And we'll also work on this main joint here. And then we're going to come back and we're going to show you what Wolfe Non-Surgical does. It's not deep tissue, guys. It's not acupuncture. It's not physio. It's Wolfe Non-Surgical, where we go in and we pull the lovingly pull the fibers apart, because there's the knot. There's beef jerky when the fibers are so tight together. And this is the way your muscle tissue should be, allowing the blood, the lymph, and the energy flow to go through there freely. So once we bring back the lymph, the blood, and the energy, we bring back brand new connective tissue. That's the deal. But remember what I told you a long time ago in other videos, if you go to my A to Z masterclass, is it's muscle memory. So her damage that's in her hands or anywhere within the body, okay, it's muscle memory. So when we try to pull away the scar tissue, the body's going to go, this is too fast, this is too fast, this can't be right. And it's actually going to want to hold on to the scar tissue, the crystallization, the calcification. And that's why we say that people need to come in anywhere from 3 to multiple times. Hands like this, I would say we could get lucky. You know, within 3 treatments, get rid of 80, 90%. But then it could take anywhere from 2 more to 5 more treatments, okay? And that's going to depend on what? First of all, her mind. People aren't willing to change in their minds. And it's your mind that creates the landmine in your body, okay? And the other thing is, are they willing to go and do the perfect day? Are they willing to do the vegetable juice fasting? Are they willing to do the advanced water fasting? Are they willing to purchase something like an Avicen or a Bioptron? Are they willing to do the DMSO on the joints, on the hands? Are they willing to put the pain away and the muscle restore essential oils on? And are they willing to do that a few times a day? If you got a 20-foot hole, like I always say, get a 20-foot ladder. And most people don't love themselves enough to care for themselves that much. But they'll do it for someone else. I guarantee you she wants to look after it now. But I guarantee you that if somebody else was sick in her family, because that's the way women are, they will do everything possible to heal someone else. But when it comes to themselves, they've been taught to ignore themselves, and that's just being selfish, isn't it? All right, we'll get back to you. We're going to start the work. So if you want to take a look at the work that Jason did, okay, you'll see something. Look at this. Where's that big gnarly bump? Where is it, Janice? It's come down, eh?
It appears to. This little swollen, I can't tell.
Okay, well, here it is. No, look at this. That's what's left.
Good.
You can't tell? There's your knuckle.
Oh, nice.
That's 1/4 of the size, maybe about 30% of the size that it was just a few minutes ago. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, take a look. That was that gnarly knuckle. Look at how Jason brought it down. I'm telling you that there's, look what's left. Nothing. That's the knuckle. Look at everyone.
Is that my own knuckle right there?
That's your knuckle. Look. Okay, that's your knuckle. So now take a look at this, everyone. From here to here, it's starting to bruise. Am I right?
Yes.
I never worked here, did I?
No.
I never worked here, did I?
No.
I only did a little bit of work right here. That was it. Here and here. And now this hole is bruising here. What would that tell you? That's called dis-ease. Okay? This shows that there's so much congestion, okay, and dis-ease packed into here. So every time that you felt pain, every time you got emotional, every time you get angry at it, where do you think it goes? It's embedded in here. And the more crystallization, the more scar tissue, the more calcification, the more physical blocks, Okay, let me ask you a question. The river that runs, you don't see bugs there, do you? Right. So the river that doesn't run, it's called a swamp, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, what do we got here?
Looks like a big swamp.
This looks like a big swamp. Look at all the mold, right? Mm-hmm. So where would the mold from the liver show, but on the hands that has no circulation? Mm-hmm. Okay, there's my hand and your hand. Mm-hmm. And how old are you?
66.
Okay, so I'm 64. So you got 2 years difference, but look at the difference, right? So that's the liver, but we can get rid of that. We need to do the coffee enemas, the ultimate coffee enema, and we just need to take a look at the perfect day and everything we talked about earlier. But look at the knuckle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Come on, the knuckles come down at least, without exaggerating, without the swelling. Look at there. There's your knuckle. It's almost normal. So I'm going to go in here and clean. I'm going to get Jason to clean up more on this side because you can see there's some more calcium there. But look at this. You see the darkness? So this tomorrow morning could be really swollen up really high. And guess what? Oh my gosh, no, let's get to the hospital. It's swelling. Understand, inflammation, pain, and swelling is the body's way of healing. So if you were to do vascular flushing on this, which we'll teach you, do salt glows, skin brushing, okay, the DMSO, okay, and you were to do the pain away and the muscle restore on here, you got your hand back. So, you know, probably about, it's responding well. Look at, so probably about, 5 treatments with us, and then we'll give her techniques on how she's going to take it home. Because we don't need her to come here. We need to get it to the point that the person can take it themselves and finish the job. Our job is not to see how much money we can get out of her, how many treatments we can get out of her. Because how busy are we, Jason? Swamped. We're double booked, right? So when we want patients to come in, clients to come in, we want to go and do our job, teach them how to look after themselves, and then share that with the world. That's it. Okay. Stay there. Are you ready for this? That's necrosis. Cell and bone death.
Oh, I was dying. I didn't know it.
Well, look at, did I take a black marker and do that? No, that's necrosis. But guess what? What do you think is going to happen? Oh, wait, that'll never come back. Yes, it will. The body's amazing. As soon as we break these blocks out. I mean, you went and had carpal tunnel syndrome. You had carpal tunnel syndrome and had surgery, right? I know, but that was just crystallization and scar tissue. Do you know how long that takes us to usually untie? 25 minutes. And then we show you how to go home and just keep it at bay so you get rid of the muscle memory. And it's vascular flushing, DMSO, pain away, muscle restore, skin brushing, salt glow. Salt glow like this would have gotten it away.
Oh, great.
You got to understand something, okay? Okay, how much do you weigh? 150 pounds? Well, guess what? You're going to be sold off by the pound. That's worth a lot of money to somebody out there. All right, so now, as you know, we did the deep tissue. You saw what her hands looked before. You saw what they look like after. So now her hand is in an Avicen. An Avicen, it creates microcirculation better than any other known device on the planet. It's been studied by countless universities and even research centers because of what it can do. You have like hyperbaric chamber, you have other devices like Beamer, they all go around 32%. This does 66% increase on microcirculation. So about 100% more than Beamer, 100% more than a hyperbaric chamber, and a lot of these other so-called energy medicine devices. Then we'll be putting her hand under a Bioptron, which is it has a fluorine lens, which will go right into the bone.
Oh.
So it'll put light in, and it's the only full spectrum light on the planet. So there you go. And so it's full spectrum, and I know people call red light or blue light, but This is the most powerful light. Okay? So what we're doing that for is because, we really went in and pulled things apart, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah. So after we pulled things apart, you saw all the bruising coming in. I never even touched her here. I only did you in that one spot, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I can feel.
So we needed to get this main knot out of here. And now when she comes in for her next treatment, we'll go in between each joint. That'll open up the lymph nodes. This is your lymph channels. Okay?
Okay.
And then we'll go into each of the major joints and take those apart. And then we'll be able to, we're going to teach her, okay? We're going to teach her how to go in and decalcify the rest of these joints.
Nice.
Can't decalcify these joints until we do what?
Get the circulation.
Until we get the circulation going. So we're also going to go in, and remember what I said, she also had, when she had carpal tunnel syndrome and she had the surgery, she didn't have a bad hand problem, not like she does now. You get the surgery, your hand problem is going to get worse. Your joints are going to get worse.
And this is the hand that I had the carpal tunnel in.
Right.
Not this one.
No, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
But the reality is this one's going too. Look,
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
But he did do some work on here, right? But
No, he never worked on my hands. He was working on my shoulders and stuff.
No.
Oh, you
Jason
mean
did a little bit of work
Oh,
on.
Jason, yeah. I thought you meant the...
He also did a little bit of work here, but we didn't take this one apart. Now, why? Well, because we do one at a time. If we would have taken this joint apart and this joint apart, we split the energy.
Huh, I don't think I could have done two.
No, but it's not about
Yeah.
that. I'm not talking. Yeah, I understand you couldn't have.
Yeah.
But the reality is we split the energy for healing. Don't spread it out all over here, right? The reality is let's go in and allow the body to focus on this one area that he did, and then we'll go in and we'll focus on this area next time,
Okay.
right? So that's what you do. You don't spread things like do too many places at once, unless the person is here for personal treatment and training, or they're here for just treatment for 1 week to 2 weeks, which we have 2 groups here right now. So, and like I said, and these people are using a lot of energy medicine while we're here. So when we did the work, I told her that you hold emotional things back from your past in your joints, in your body. I said that the invisible gets locked into the visible, and the invisible causes the physical distortions in her hands. So believe it or not. And she goes, well, I work outside a lot. So that means that everybody who works outside should have arthritis and distorted hands. That's not true. But we also talked about where she never used to drink water. So if you work out and you're using your hands a lot, you're creating lactic and uric acid in your hands. And what if you're not drinking water? Well, you're not flushing it away, are you? So then you have beef jerky hands, right? I also told her that when we work on your hands, that emotional things may come up. So I come in here and I go, what are you doing? And she, well, meanwhile, you're thinking about your brother who used to bully you when you were a little girl, and you're thinking about your father. So by working on the physical body, we release trapped emotion that we have not dealt with. So there's things that she hasn't dealt with. Now I can ask her and she'll go, well, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything. Well, there's always something. Because from 0 to 7, and I mean 0, soon as you come in your mother's womb until you're 7 years old, actually it's not. It's 3 years old. By the time you're 3, you've already got 70% of your personality. By the time you're 7, you've got all your personality. Oh, wait a minute. It's not your personality. It's your mothers and fathers and all the systems that you went to, the church, the school, the people you hung around with, your relatives. So that's why every child needs to be taught that they are not themselves. They're everyone else. And that's why they're destructive. That's why every human being is destructive, because adults raise them, and adults are adulterated. I haven't met an adult I really truly loved yet. Haha. I love them all, but I don't really like them. That's it. And it's true. We love children because they're pure of spirit. By the time they walk and talk, then they start to get adulterated, don't they?
I
Right.
agree.
Okay, all right. So believe it or not, Janice may not believe this, but she's still not herself. She's not her authentic self. You're not your authentic self until every belief you have has been dipped in total self-love and you really care for yourself. And that's not happening yet. She's trying to, though. So now when I worked on her hands, she's got all this emotional stuff back before she was 7. Tell me that I was wrong. Okay. So that's not what we're here today on the emotional aspect. We're here on the physical, but guess what? The emotional causes the physical. I just want to make that perfectly clear. Okay? So now when she goes home, what we did when she's finished this is we had her for about in between 5 and 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Run cool water, not ice cold, because you never put ice on anything. Did you know that? You kill it.
Oh.
You
okay.
kill it.
Good
You don't
to
put
know.
ice on it. You put cold wet on it. So what we want to do is we don't want to totally neutralize or kill the inflammation and the swelling completely, because that's the healing. But the body always overcompensates. So then we use the cool water to just slow it down, but don't just totally stop it.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, it's good to know, but it's funny how we're always taught the wrong thing.
Exactly.
So, and then when you've got more of a kind of a chronic problem, that's when you do the vascular flushing. So if this is swollen, I just want you to put a cool wet towel on top of it tonight, not ice. And the cool wet towel, wring it out so it's not dripping, will absorb the heat, but it won't take it all away. We don't, you know, just so we just slow down that process, because the body loves you so much it overcompensates. Do you remember when you fell in love with someone? You overloved them. Yeah, okay? All right? Well, that's what your body's doing. Okay? All right. So now we'll have her eventually. She's going to be in touch with me every couple of days. She'll let me know where she's at. When the swelling starts to come down, I'll get her to do vascular flushing. And that's where she's going to do what? She's going to do 3 minutes warm, not hot burning, because we don't want to hurt her hand, but to the point that it's warm enough that it feels really warm, but it's not going to burn your hand. Do you understand? You can feel the blood come in. Then you're going to do 1 minute cold, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. Finish with cold, and you're going to do that how many times? 3 times a day for me.
Okay.
But what else is she going to do? Look at this, guys. This is Epsom salts. You see it? Okay. Now this Epsom salts here, okay, what it is we took Epsom salts from Costco, get a big container. We wet it down with structured water. If you don't have structured water, that's fine. But structuring always makes things better. Then what you're going to do, wet it down to the consistency of sand, like beach sand. And then what we did was with her, we can do this. We will then take what we call pain away, okay? And the first batch, well, because it's got, we're going to have pain there, right? And we're going to put lots of pain away into the essential oils that are wet. I mean, into the Epsom salts. Lots of it, okay? And understand something. We sell it cheaper than anybody else in the market. This is a 4-ounce bottle. Go check the price out. And I've been making essential oils for 32 years. I have the same alchemist, and that alchemist has made some of the original blends that you know that most of the multi-level marketing people are actually carrying. Okay? So anyways, you're going to put we wet the Epsom salts down like sand. Then we put lots. You can not be over generous with it.
Half a bottle?
Well, let's say that's a lot.
Okay.
So maybe just even from this 4-ounce bottle, we might use a half an ounce. That's enough for a big thing like this.
Okay.
All our stuff is really concentrated.
Okay.
Okay, so then we put that in. Then we'll take, if this weighs 10 pounds, we take 1 pound of coconut oil and we mash that in. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to grab the Epsom salts, right? But first, before we do that, you're going to skin brush. So this is a Dr. Jensen's. He makes about the best skin brush. We have them here if you want them. And then you're going to go in there and you're going to really skin brush. Look. You're going to get right in there and you're going to do a really great job. You're going to do it for about 5 minutes as hard as you can do it. Okay? Really stimulate it. Okay?
When it's sore like that?
No. This is when this all comes down.
Okay, good to
You're
know.
not doing any of this stuff.
Okay.
All you're doing when it's sore like that is you're going to use the Rose DMSO. It's in the orange container. Okay? You're going to put that on. You're also going to spray this pain away.
Okay.
You're going to spray pain away on, and you're going to use the pain away essential oil. So with the DMSO, we want to put that on about 3 times a day. With the pain away, we want to do that every half hour.
Okay.
That's only a couple of drops.
Yep.
Only a couple drops. That's all. It's so inexpensive. And then this, you're just going to spray this whenever you can think about it after the pain away.
Okay.
DMSO, 3 to 5 times a day. Then we're going to do this every half hour, the pain away essential oil. And we're going to spray this on whenever we can think about it. Because this here is a fulvic spray that will actually draw the inflammation out.
Okay.
Okay? All right. And that's all you would do. Okay?
Okay.
And
Yep.
you would be doing your wet, cold towel, so it's 3 layers thick, and then you can feel it, okay, for about 10 minutes. Flip it over because it's still cold on this side, and you'll see it'll slowly and lovingly draw it out. We don't want to shut this down.
Yeah. How often do you want me to do that?
You know what? If you did it like, you might only, it depends. Right now, you would do it 3 times a day.
Okay.
Tomorrow, maybe 3 times a day. Next day, 3 times a day. Next day, twice. Twice, and then maybe once.
Okay.
And then maybe not at all anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Then once the swelling and the pain comes down, then we get into the skin brushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get into this. We grab the Epsom salt, and we go like this.
Okay.
And we scrub hard with each joint.
Okay.
Look,
Yep.
Epsom salts,
Yep.
ring, and you do each joint. Okay? But where do you start? You start here where? At the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So you grab the Epsom salts, pull back your love band, and you get in here and you grab the Epsom salts and you ring.
Okay.
You might do that like 3 or 4 times. Why? Because Epsom salts has magnesium in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. The Epsom salts is also scratching a little bit. So it's causing hyperemia. So now the magnesium's getting in. And oh, wait a minute. The Pain Away essential oil's getting in. And now we're even going to moisturize the area, which is the coconut oil is an antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial. So now we're going to do that. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to really scrub well. Grab it. Scrub really well. Okay? The hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then you're going to go in and you're going to go in between each joint. So I'm going to go
With
like
the
this.
brush or just your fingers?
The salt.
Yeah, salt.
And go in here. You did the brush already.
Yeah, okay.
You scrubbed it. The
Yeah.
brush was first. Then we're going to do the salt really well. And then we're going to get each joint.
Okay.
And you're really going to get in there and scrub that joint. Push the magnesium and push the pain away in. Right?
Yep.
Essential oil. Wait, you see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and you know, you do that depending on the redness. So if you really went vigorous, then you would back off if it was red. And if it wasn't, you'd go back in maybe and do it again. Some people can do it 3 times. Why? There's no circulation in here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really working on it. So
Can
if you
I do this hand as well?
You got to do both hands.
Okay,
I mean, both
good.
are in trouble.
Okay, no, I'm going to do it.
So anyways, just know this. I'm going to be doing a video coming up. I don't know when, but I'm going to show people how to do the whole body. Right? How to use the whole body, skin brushing, salt glow, and then I'm going to show the sauna, and then how to use niacin to flush to really do it.
Okay.
But that's another time. Okay? All right.
Awesome.
So that's a big DMSO. So now, okay, when the swelling goes down, okay, you're switching to the gel.
Okay.
And the gel doesn't go on your hand. That's where the rose goes on because it's gentler, nicer. The gel goes around the stubborn joint areas, okay?
Okay.
That's where it goes, the more calcified areas, okay? All right. So what do you think?
Awesome. I'm really hard to wait to get started.
So do you see? So that's how you do it. And then also getting rid of the inflammatory friends, getting rid of the inflammatory drinks, getting rid of the inflammatory foods, right? Getting rid of the inflammatory thoughts because you are good enough. Everything that you think about, you know, you have to understand that we all have the power to heal, right? No, we don't, actually. You won't have that until you have every prominent thought in you that is totally honoring, respecting you, and you get to the point where you never have to forgive yourself again. And you're going to go, well, that's not really good. And I'll say, yes, it is, because you're not the people don't go around hurting people. And you know what? When things go wrong, we punish ourselves enough, don't we? Mm-hmm. So when you're done punishing yourself, let me know so you don't get twisted. Oh, wait a minute. Your mind's already twisted. Your mind's already twisted because your hands are. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, it's because I have 10 acres and I work out in the ground. What, are we kidding? Okay, all right. What do you think?
Well, there's so much misinformation out there that we're just like sponges. We seem to draw it to us.
Well, wait a minute. What did I tell you? From the 0 till 7, you suck everything in. You know, what did the Jesuits say? Give me a child until he's 7 and we will own him for life. Well, I think they're right.
Okay.
And that's right. We've all been programmed, girl.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. So whenever you want to just go, I'm going to erase, replace, and I'm going to heal this beautiful body of mine because I am the goddess of everything. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.